I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Okay, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Kill.
Here.
Bowen.
Here.
Walslager.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
And Brenneman and Jass are absent with notice.
All right, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda for tonight's meeting? If none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right, how about action on the minutes from the 116 meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes of 1/16/2024.
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, no bills? Other than the few that are already on the list. Public comment, anybody that's here that's, I'm sure you're here for other matters. First up, second reading of ordinance 748 to amend the zoning ordinance, chapter 19 regarding conditional use. No changes from the first reading.
Correct.
Motion to approve second reading of ordinance 748.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager. Second one tonight is second reading of ordinance 751, the amendment to zoning ordinance chapter 12.08 regarding fences. Also, no changes from the first reading.
I make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 751.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, next up is reports. The deputy probably not gonna make it tonight. Deputy's packet is in your, info is in your packet. As always, we thank him for the great job he's doing. Amy is at the township meeting, so we'll probably hear from her when she gets back or at some point. Wynn's report is in here. She is going to come the second meeting of the month, is that correct?
Correct. And yeah, and then these off meetings, she'll just provide a report for you guys.
Yep.
So keep you updated.
And then they have the, I guess, they'll be announcing the winner of the burger battle.
At the,
At-
What event is that?
that's their chamber annual.
It's their annual meeting. They've kind of replaced the dinner with this bowling event, but it's their annual meeting, and that's when they're gonna announce the winner of the
Okay.
burger ballot.
Okay. Cool.
We're keeping it secret till then.
Yeah.
All right, rocking right along, we'll get to our city engineer report, ISG.
Good evening. This is the
Michael?
quickest we've gone to our report.
Yep.
Nice change. Since last meeting, reviewed final plans for the 12th and Oak Street project with city staff, and we provided review comments back to IDG and HADF for some changes to make. Additionally, we have started and are working through review of the design standards, supplemental specifications for construction, as well as the subdivision ordinances. P&Z requested updates on those, and it's good to take a look at those and review those every couple of years. Moving on to project updates, as is the theme. Only project update this meeting is on the water rec facility. We do have the project website up and running now. There's both a link in your report as well as a QR code that you can scan with your phone for bi-weekly updates that we're staying up on, including construction schedule, photos, as well as progress made. Regarding construction of that project, lift station structure being the base and the walls are complete, and Rice Lake is spending the rest of the month finishing the lid for it. They expect to have that done by the end of February, and they continue to push forward on the aero mod structure, planning on 2 pours of the walls a week, about a 20-week process for that, so won't see much on that, or that'll be going through March for construction. Reached out to them for the tour as requested last time, and it's really up to whenever you guys want. Generally, Fridays are better, just as they're, cleaning up and getting ready for the week.
Do you have
and-
hard hats for us?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We would just need to have a head count, so we can provide enough. With that, that's it for the project updates. If there are no questions or any questions,
Just a quick question, when is the other round of bidding where you guys review the bids, is that happening like not August, that's really late?
It will probably be mid to late 2024 as we get
Okay.
a little further on that
Okay.
election system. Yep.
And, okay, so everything that's gonna happen up till now has already been bid, just so I understand that, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
The only remaining bidding is probably plus or minus $50,000 for your awareness in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
That lift station, is that a flip-up lid? Is that for entry into that deal? Is that how that
It's
works?
so you can pull the pumps,
Huh?
so you can pull the pumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a flip-up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the wood structure will be reinforced concrete, but then within that.
Yeah,
will be
right,
the
they have a
hatches.
flip-up lid, yeah.
Yep.
That's what I figured. It's kind of like the other lift station up there on,
Yep.
yeah, okay. Okay.
If there are no questions, I do have an action item, pay request number 4, from Rice Lake Construction in the amount of $1,562,297, and no cents. That includes construction through the end of January, as well as some stored Aeromod material, which is included within that pay application for your review. Additionally, I would like to note that there is a section, pages 2 and 3 of that pay request that list out the divisions or bid packages of the project, the total amount, the amount that on this pay application, as well as the total amount paid under that line item too.
Right. Before we move that, I got one more quick question.
Of course.
The Western Avenue, our portion of that project, do we have an estimate on that?
Yeah, we'll get you the finalized estimate, but it's
Oh,
plus
we're-
minus at like 5
oh.
million, so it's
3 million.
consistent.
Where'd you get the number 3
5,
from?
Yeah, 5.
Five.
Yeah, say it's
Oh,
5.
5
Yeah,
million.
it's 5.
I misunderstood you, I thought you said 3.
You want it good.
I don't want, you could have went 4.
I think I heard him say
Just like when it actually
3.
gets constructed in 3 years.
Well, I put on record 5.
3.
So we're gonna need 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't mean to throw you off, but I was thinking about that the other day. Somebody
And you said you're gonna have those numbers soon, right?
finalized,
Okay.
Reviewing the.
because
where we're
that
at
starts
on
this
the numbers.
summer, right?
No,
Next year.
Next year. It'll be this summer, but
2025.
we'll start construction next year.
Okay. All right, back to your, anything else you want to say on your pay request?
I don't know, anything to see? Yeah.
Next month will probably be a little lighter because of the payouts are about a month behind. So they got a lot of work done in December. Actually, January, we had a little slowdown with weather, but they're kind of ramping back up here with the concrete work at the Aeromod structure, so.
I just got a quick question. I mean, from your guys' perception, everything's running fine, obviously under budget. I mean, I know we've got the GMP, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
But how is everything going from your,
From our perspective, on
Yes.
the engineering side, I'd say very well. Rice Lake has been a great partner. They got a lot of work done. They're being very diligent. Having Matt out there on site all the time, keeping all the subs in order, has been great. So far, so good. And we got a lot of work done, really, so far. I'm really surprised on how much progress we got done.
we've had good weather too.
Yes, which is very fortunate. So typically we see some projects delay this one. We have on the timeline, so very confident.
Actually, I'll take you cheaper.
You would think,
Yeah. We're keeping them employed during the winter season,
you would think. It's like 5 becoming 3. No? So, we're not quite a third of the way with that money-wise. We're close, but we're not quite a third of the way.
Right.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve pay request number 4 to Rice Lake Construction Group for $1,562,297, sorry. I should have just stopped at number 4.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Wausau.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Heel.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you guys got?
That's all we have. Thank you.
Boy, that's pretty. I noticed you guys call it water recovery something, and I noticed that Aramon calls it wastewater treatment plant. I'm just telling you that since you always correct me when I call it wastewater treatment. All right. That should cover that. Thank you, guys. Craig, you're up next.
Just a couple of things in my report, the rest of it's, coming up later. Gravel roads, we have been back dragging, I'm trying to get some of those potholes taken care of, so working on those. We started the gauge house yesterday, it's going real well, I'm hoping to have it textured this week and painted it next week, Monday or Tuesday of next week, so we should be wrapping up over there next week. And then the only other thing is just, staff want to say thanks for the raises, so,
Hey.
so appreciate it.
All right, anybody got any questions for Craig?
The library thing, the walk, that's all pretty much, I haven't been over there, but that's all done, just the post at the library, or
The
the walking thing,
Walking
Turtle Creek,
The posts
yeah.
are in, we've got the panels on, the library's got the pages, they're gonna wait until about spring, they thought, before they
To
put
put
it
them in, okay, cool.
Everything's ready for them, just waiting for when they wanna do it, so. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Craig. Karen, you got anything to, gave us all kinds of numbers in our
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, I have nothing to add, unless you guys have questions for me. I do have one action item to, appoint our election board. Lined up, should we have to have an election, Laurel Stringer from Ward 1, Marcine Simmonsma for Ward 2, Darla Lauver from Ward 3, and Gail Blocker has agreed to be our alternate.
All right.
I've got a quick question on the, I was looking, what's the Golden West Telecommunications and Cable Franchise Tax? What is that?
We have an agreement with Golden West and actually with Midco that they pay a franchise tax to the city for having services within the city. And so we have an agreement in place that we get a portion of the revenues that they get.
Really? Okay.
Midcoast comes in annually, or Midcoast comes in monthly, where Golden West.
And is that
comes
just
in
based
annually.
upon the users? Is that an
The
agreement
number
per
of users
user?
they have, yep.
Okay, I never knew that. That's really interesting. Is that pretty normal for cities to charge a franchise tax?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Golden West one is, ever since I've been here with the city, that's been in place. And then, like I said, when Midco came on, basically we followed the same agreement that they have Golden West, so they would be paying the same.
It was probably inherited back when it was Union Telephone, right?
Yep, yeah, I think so.
Been there a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
All right.
How many more internet companies can we get here?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
there's still only so many users.
Right.
That's
Right,
true,
yeah,
yeah,
that's true,
yeah,
that's
so
true.
you're getting
That
from
is
one,
true.
yeah.
So it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
We need more
right?
people, more users, yeah.
I had asked Karen and Teresa, and they provided me with our up-to-date debt service list. We knocked off a couple of our long-term payments at the end of the year, or in January. We have a couple more that will pay off in 2025. I wonder if someplace in our box or someplace you could post this so everybody
that'd be
can see
awesome.
it. Maybe it's in there.
I
It might already be
I
in
think
there.
it is. We'll double check and make sure it's the most
Make sure-
up-to-date
yeah,
one,
make
though,
sure
'cause
it's
it may
correct.
not be the most
Yep.
up-to-date.
Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. We got a long ways to go. We could borrow a lot of money. What? All right. Man.
Borrowing, it's easy, paying it back.
Pay it back.
Yeah, that's-
Okay, that's all right. All right, let's deal with Karen's action item. We need, action to appoint the election board.
I make a motion to appoint the 2024 municipal election board as presented in the packet.
Second?
Any discussion?
How many people have pulled a petition so far?
3.
Okay, so it's 2 up in Ward 1?
Yeah, there's two terms. There's a 1-year term in Ward 1 and a 2-year term.
Okay.
in Warrenwood.
And that's that we know of. You could pull a petition off the
Right.
state's site, you know, that's just what came out of here.
Okay.
So
I'm,
there could be more out there, we don't know.
I'm the third.
Oh, you are the third. Okay, that's what I was scared, because I know the two up north.
Right.
Okay.
I just
gotcha.
did mine.
And you're Ward
3.
three. Okay. Awesome.
Be a dark horse out there.
There could be. There could be.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the election workers for our election. No other discussion. We'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
Karen, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thank you. Teresa?
Just in my report, just a quick little update. I have received 11 proposals for IT services. Those are due at the end of this last month, so a few days ago. So I'm gonna go through those now, next couple of weeks, and then hopefully have a recommendation to you at our next meeting. We also received our payroll manual, the update from Western Group, so I've been reviewing that, and that too we'll look at our next meeting coming up. Gave you an update about Dakota Mainstream, just for your information. Like I said, we're kind of in the starting stages, but things are progressing along a little bit. And then just as a reminder, I will be going out to Pier tomorrow and Thursday for the City Management Association Conference, so that's the updates I have for you.
That Dakota Main Stem project, that's years out, isn't it?
Yes.
So I was just talking to somebody, the Sioux County, which is like Sioux Center, Orange City, and maybe you guys know about this, but to my knowledge and what he told me is that they're connecting a pipeline from the Missouri River to bring into Sioux County, which I think that closest connection point is somewhere down by Sioux City, but I don't know if you guys know anything about that or, but I think it's really, really smart. I mean, that's what eventually what Dakota Main Stem is gonna do, right? But
Dakota Main Stem's gonna help like southeastern
Yep.
part of the state. There's another pipeline, northeastern part of the state that they're working on, coming from the river, and then out west. They're also working on from the river going west of another
but
pipeline.
it could be 20 years out.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
all of them, yeah. They're all just getting going now, but
Yep.
they're all trying to tap into, yeah,
Yep.
the river where the water is and kind of get it dispersed, but they're all 20+ years out.
At our SMGA mayor's meeting and the member advisory board meeting last week or whenever it was in Humboldt, considerable conversation about water in this area, in this part of the state. So, it's a huge topic. All right. Anything else, Teresa?
Nope.
Man, we're walking through, we're on record pace, let's go. Okay. Old business. Old bit, you can tell I'm feeling better because I, I'm fired up for sound. Yeah, I'm spicy. Okay, old business. First up is review our SMGA membership dues, and one of their new employees, Bryce, is here. Left everybody laying cards.
Are you the guy in Harrisburg yet? I think I saw it on
My
LinkedIn.
name, Mayor?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Yes, so I know everything because I've been on a month now, so.
Yeah, that's perfect.
For the first period of time, I will be focusing on Harrisburg until Tyler gets his whole team moving, and I do a lot of this outreach as well. But focusing, yeah, they just announced that actually I must be doing really well because we just landed a hotel that we're gonna start in 24, so.
It's in Hartford here, right?
No, that was the Harrisburg one.
Oh, okay.
I just told Tyler on the way out here, I'm taking the rest of the month off.
Yeah, no, yeah, you did your job, boom, yeah.
But, yes, glad to answer any questions. You will see more of SMGA folks at these. Tyler's got a great vision of not just one person being assigned to a community, but I'm at a point in my life I like. This has been a great meeting. I went to Baltic a couple weeks ago. That meeting was not near as fast as this meeting. It was quite interesting, but any questions for SMGA, glad to field them. And if I don't have any answers now, I'd certainly get back to you.
Why were you at Baltic? They're not a member, are they?
Well, we'd like them.
Oh.
We'd like them to,
He maybe heard that from me.
we'd like them to continue, they have been a member,
Right.
and we would like them to continue their membership.
Got it.
Right.
So you're in the sales mode.
Yeah, I mean, Beersford's not a member yet either, and I'm going to Beersford soon.
All right.
Good.
So get those B words on board.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
All right, as we know, we've been members way back when this thing was Makita and Lakita, and we've been members. We did not take action last month on paying our yearly dues. It's back on the agenda, and I guess my plug would be, I really enjoy the time I get to go and meet with the other mayors. For me, that is a huge piece of this deal. That, and really, the SMGA guys kind of stay out in the middle of that and let us kind of have our, but somebody organizes it and they get us together, so we all sit down at the table and talk. And that's huge. So from my standpoint, I like that. So that would be my pitch for.
I've been somewhat of an open critic on SMGA. Not, I mean, that's probably a little bit of a harsher term. And I know you're the new guy, and I obviously plan on voting yes on this tonight. I think, and I just want to have an open, just open is like, I think I've had a hard time seeing, and this is probably just my lack of experience. I've been on the HADF board for a period of time and involved in that for probably about 3 years. I was on the board for about a year. And I think part of it is that the HADF board probably really wasn't utilizing the SMGA to the fullest extent. And so like, I want to see, like, as we move forward with this, is like, I want to believe in what you guys do, because I know the mayor does, because he sees the value in it, right? He goes to those mayor roundtables and gains information, makes connections. I think there's a huge amount of value in that. And I just want to, and you can just pass this on to the board, is like, I want to fully utilize whatever resources you guys provide to communities. I want to fully utilize that for whatever we're paying for, whatever we need to do as a city, because I can't control what the HADF does. But as a city, I have a little bit of leverage with like how we do that. So I don't know what that looks like. Like I can see the sheet here. I think there's some good things on there, but I would love to get to know you and the board or the people involved in that to see like, what can we do to really grow that relationship, right? Outside of just the mayor having a round table, because that's great, but I still have to make a vote when we spend the money, and I have to believe in it myself too. I did have one question I was reading on here, so it's the section number 2, and this is in the pledge of support. It says, give each community a voice in the management of the organization. So a guaranteed seat on the membership advisory board, regardless of community size. So like if we become a member, so do I have a seat on the advisory board now, or how, like, what does that mean?
Amy is our.
Yeah, so we
Okay,
just
so
passed
Amy,
that
that's right,
resolution.
okay.
Right.
For it to make Amy our
Okay.
advisory and
Right.
back.
Yep.
And I'm the backup.
You're the back, yeah.
Yep. And I would love to see that relationship between the HADF and SMGA really grow and thrive however that works. And a lot of that's gonna be on Amy. And I think there's been some good progression, to my understanding, with that. So I don't really have any questions. I'm just communicating openly.
Yep.
So I appreciate it, and I will, when I leave here, I'll be calling the boss, so.
Oh, wow, look at that. You don't have to call him, but if you want to, that'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any action from the council regarding this?
Make a motion to approve the SMGA membership for 2024.
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Anything else that we need on that topic? Good, thanks. Thanks for coming out tonight, Bryce.
Thank you.
Quick question, where are you from?
Have you heard of Tri-Cities, Puckwana, Chandler,
Yeah.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I got a branch at Puckwana. That's where I'm originally from. Still
Oh.
on branch.
Wonderful. Welcome to this part.
I live in Summit, Sioux Falls.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I like that you wore a suit too. That's awesome.
That's extra points there.
You turned right.
All right.
No dress code for the city council.
No, clearly.
When I saw your pictures on the website, you were all dressed the same.
Yeah, we're-
Yeah,
I'm-
imagine, yeah, company uniform.
Got the wardrobe company in.
Yeah. Somebody dressed it.
Tuesday told us what to do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, she did tell us what to do. Hey, listen.
All right, next item in old business is to review, discuss the the sports complex building, design, and release of fund, and Mr. Matt Evans is here. Craig's gonna talk, I would bet somebody else is gonna talk, or maybe just,
Hopefully, right, we're gonna keep it quick, just in Craig, and
yeah.
just keep moving. Thanks for having me, Mr. Mayor and City Council. At our meeting last week, we reviewed Craig's plans and cost estimates for the concession and restroom building. And it is our recommendation that the council moves forward with that, releases the $255,000 that is currently set aside for that, so we can move forward with that project.
Has there been consideration to reach out to a couple of our local manufacturers to see if there'd be any interest? And I know,
Without being a 503C, we have to go through the bid process, so my plan is to go talk to them.
okay,
And since it's building materials, once we get this approved, if it gets
Right.
approved, then I'm gonna sit down with Teresa, I'll put some plans together, she's gonna help me word it properly and everything like that.
yeah,
And then I was gonna go talk to them and see if they would be willing to throw either a complete donation, like to building center or something like that, so when they get the bid, it's, donated through them.
right,
With the bid laws, it's tough.
right.
So-
I
So we
understand.
really gotta work through that and make sure we do everything right, but I'm gonna see if they'll give the building center a better deal or something like that, so we can get a better deal.
I mean, they're next door neighbors of ours up there at the sports complex.
There's several things we can do. Since the whole project is over 100,000, we gotta look at that. That's the bid limit, so we have to bid this out as a municipality. But we could, like I said, me and Craig can start working on, we could bid certain sections, like we could do the electrical bid just itself, or we can do the concrete bid just itself, or we can do a whole building package together, or we can do just the materials. So, we thought we'd sit down, kind of figure out what's the best way to go out and bidding it, and then, we can contact Central State, some of the local businesses in here, and say, hey, we got this coming up. Hopefully, they'll give us a cheaper spot, or they'll give the general a cheaper, bid on it, so.
Few questions. One is, so the bid laws require the cost of the project, not the cost of.
Cost of the project.
Total cost of the project, you gotta figure everything, not just
Okay.
portions.
And then question two is, it seems odd that the furnishings, that we got that close to our budget number, 255. So if we approve this, are the release and the approval of the furnishings still coming back here? Like, what is that? What's in there? I guess is what I'm wondering. That takes us to 255.
So we have 255,000, which we'd like you guys to release or let us go out to bids. When the bids come in, we'll know if we're over that or too high and we've gotta cut out some of these furnishings, or if it's less and we can include some of that with it.
And the big I chunk guess my question-
Concrete to take out, that'll save, what
Right,
did you
yeah,
say,
we
Craig,
could-
like 40,000?
Yeah, it's, when I refigured it, it's about 34,000.
I mean, you won't know the total cost till bids come in.
Yeah, I'm curious about the equipment inside the building and outside sidewalks and furnishings.
Do you want me, I can go over the list
Yeah,
that
that's
Craig.
great.
Yeah,
I'm just
Craig-
curious what we're.
Yeah, Craig has a detailed list here, so if you're looking for the additional pieces, in the kitchen concession area, there would be, stainless countertops in the bathroom, the main kitchen area. We were looking at a rolling, stainless steel countertop. That includes beverage coolers, refrigerator, fold-up countertop that we could move to the outside, so like to have condiments, that type of thing, so people aren't stacked at a window, during a tournament. They get their hot dog, hamburger, or whatever, and then, we'd have a rolling cart out there. Let's see, other than just the basics, then I think the next thing would be picnic tables that we have on right now. That might be something that would kind of be put aside right now, if need be. And then, like we talked about, some of the concrete work, if needed, would be set aside for a later time.
So is the electrical and is that inside and outside lighting? Is that
Yeah,
all of it?
well, around the building.
Yep.
So it'll be lights by the door, walk-through doors and stuff like that, yep, in the bathrooms and the kitchen and everything.
And the garbage cans are concrete.
Yeah.
We're like the ones outside,
At
yeah.
that price. Just out of curiosity, and these are just ballpark numbers with your experience in
I
that, or
actually.
you made some calls
I
and?
made some calls and I
Right.
got, numbers and then I added on to them just a little bit
Yeah,
to make sure
okay.
they're covered, yep. So I contacted electrician,
Yep.
plumber, concrete guy, got price per square foot for that, and then we figured all the numbers out from there. Block layer, guy with doing footings, stuff like that, so I got numbers on everything.
Okay, cool. And then, oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna ask two questions, but I'm gonna ask at the same time because I don't wanna give the wrong vibe. What's on here that can come off, if we said something had to come off, what would you take out? And then, what did people want that we didn't put in here?
As far as what we could take off is, I would recommend that, right now we're planning a 10-foot sidewalk that would go from the parking lot, the handicap thing, up to the concession stand. We do have a 5-foot sidewalk already there, that brings them up there, so we could still it'd still be ADA compatible and everything like that. It just, we wouldn't have a main walkway going through the center of it. As far as some things that people might want would maybe be, like a safety net, like you see on some of the ball fields, so pop fly comes up, and then shade structures and that stuff. But I'm hoping these numbers come in less, and then if they do, and we have money to do some more concrete around the ball fields, as far as slabs for the, bleachers to sit on, which them slabs we'd do ourselves, would just basically be a little bit of labor and a concrete cost. And then the straight shade structures, they're reasonable, we'd install that stuff ourselves. We're looking at the roof and that stuff, all the inside work, we're looking at doing as much of that as we can ourselves, to keep the costs down. But with that money, if these numbers are, like concrete's $1 a foot higher than what I got for quote. And the quote I got last year for some concrete work was a couple dollars less than what I got this year. So depending on what the numbers come in at, we could be quite a bit less than what we have for number right now. If they get the full 255 to work with, like I said, my plan is to probably general this, I think we'll get better numbers that way, and we'll just take care of it, it'll be kind of we did City Hall ourselves, I mean, it's just a matter of keeping the contractors going and stuff like that. If it comes in less, I'd like to have the board be able to say, yeah, I'll give them a list and say, here's where we're at right now for numbers, here's what we're gonna be at, here's what we're gonna have left over, here's some ideas. Do you want concrete around the outside for the bleachers to sit on? Do we wanna look at shade structures? Do we wanna just do do 4 shade structures and just 1 concrete pad in each one? Or you wanna do 3 concrete pads and stuff like that, so. And we're gonna, when we do this, like bringing the sewer in and doing the water, we'll do that ourselves as far as getting into the building. And at the same time, we're looking at bringing hydrants over to the last 2 fields that we built, so they'll have hydrants like the other 2 got on each side. So we'll do all that work ourselves.
How close is the sewer? We brought it in off the road.
Sewer's about 100 feet away,
Okay,
150, about 100 feet, I'd say.
okay.
And that's fairly shallow, I think we're down to about 5 foot with that, 6 foot, so.
Well, the fact that we're talking about this, we've talked about this concession stand for
8 years.
as long as I've been around. It'd really be nice to see that thing start going up. So,
Sorry, one more
no,
question.
that's right.
So with the discussion, for instance, regarding the pickleball courts, we don't have any sponsorships at the field out there at this time, do we?
At this time, no.
So is there any way to do donations in kind for that within the bid process?
Not in the bid
So how do
process.
other cities
I mean,
get
they can donate to
sponsors like
offsets stuff,
Okay.
you know, to go into your budget and you can offset stuff, but we still have to
Looking
bid
for
it.
sponsorships for
I'm
different things.
thinking less of like asking all businesses and more of like,
We don't even have anybody that,
could Central States sponsor the
yeah,
they can make a donation.
I said, they can make a donation.
Toward the building, I mean, as
They're
far
not
as,
done unless we ask.
the bid laws are really tough, and I've got a call in, we're gonna work with, Rod,
State.
from, legislative audit, just to make sure that we're doing this all proper.
Will you
Um,
ask about that?
Yeah, that's one of the things on our
Cause
list
I
to
look
talk
at
about.
like, how does the city of Sioux Falls then build the Midco
Right.
Aquatic Center? I mean, like, there's gotta be a
Right,
way
there's
to do
ways.
it.
I think what they're doing is they're getting a business just to go ahead and build it all and then turn it over to the city. Is what they're more likely doing. The city's not going out for bids on the project and building it themselves. It's,
Or they're selling naming rights.
I said,
Yeah,
they're selling
right.
naming
Yeah, right.
rights,
Yeah.
or they're taking donations and offsetting it, yeah.
But that's not to say, to your question, Cindy, like the pickleball deal. I kind of took that on myself to make that initial contact to see if there's something we can do. Yes, I think the Park and Rec Board, that's gonna be one of the things that we're gonna really turn over to them and say, let's fine tune this deal and figure out how we can enhance our ability to go ask for funds.
I think, and maybe this is where Kenneth, you may help us, or where can we get some advice? So one of the things that I think we do is, we need to do is think a little bit bigger. And think about down the road, how do we get some of the larger businesses, or maybe some of the smaller ones, to, on some projects, to co-op, or think about that kind of activity within our community.
And we did have, I'm not sure when you jumped onto, or were voted on, but we did have a bigger, I mean, we were, had a FEMA grant, right? And so that, I mean, so we did have bigger, that actually we would have paid less, and that unfortunately fell through. But, we've been setting the money aside for the last several years, so in each of those budgets.
I just think it's important to, this concession stand needs to last us for, how long is the lifespan on this? So if there's some things that, could be added or could be, through donations supported, whatever the right way to do that is, in exchange for advertisement, some things like that, and not like $200 on the side of the building, like something a little more expansive. I think we've gotta start figuring out how to
And
do
that's
that.
something we'll work on, like the pot coolers and that, stuff like that can get donated.
Yeah,
But
and
as
that-
far as the building itself, I mean, with the bid laws, it's really tough, and we'll really work on all the edges we
So-
can and see.
So then what is the other way? And I don't know if Amy I just would like to understand so that we're doing the best we can going forward. And not to, we take a pop cooler like we take a dishwasher, right? I mean, but I'm talking about significant
Yes.
Yeah.
sponsorships for some of our recreational projects.
Yeah. Wait till we go ask them to put lights on the fields.
Put on a ball.
Travis Electric light.
They'll give you the bulbs for
Got a trouble light.
signing.
Be in trouble lighting with a long extension cord. Okay. Any other questions for Matt, Craig, or anybody?
But maybe Sioux Valley Electric would donate one.
Well,
Like you said, the answer is always no if you don't ask, so.
right.
I think your thinking on that is, that's where, Art and I were talking about that, of figuring out how to build that public-private partnership. It's not that we're looking for handouts.
I use those words with him and then he uses them.
Well, I've heard those words many times, okay? This is
You
not
are
something
sharp.
that you came up with, but.
I made that, I got that copy of that thing.
All right,
All right,
are we ready?
all right. All we're looking for is there any action from the council?
I make a motion to approve the sports complex building design and release of $255,000 for funding per Park and Recreation Board recommendation.
All right.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Thank you guys for all your work. We love it.
thank you guys. Craig's done a ton, Craig and Teresa as well,
Yeah.
so they.
Chris, I know you've been talking with them, and man, that's good.
It's important, yeah.
I think the park board has been a really nice addition. I think I got you another person today, but I won't say that.
All right. We'll take them. And then the second item is just kind of after reviewing the sponsorship opportunity with Golden West, it was our recommendation that we go with 10 years, but also with the understanding that, you know, Mr. Mayor, since you kind of took this upon yourself and you know kind of the other players involved, we also would not want to lose that opportunity, you know, as far as taking that amount. You know, if it's kind of an all or nothing type deal.
I think our next step, and Teresa and I have talked, we needed this discussion. We were gonna put together the proposal and propose it to Golden West. I mean, they gave us the, yes, we wanna be involved.
Right.
Now let's work out the details, so that's what we're doing. We gotta work out the details. I think we can get the details worked out.
So,
That's where the devil's at.
In the details,
Absolutely.
correct.
So-
And, okay, go ahead, Teresa.
no, I was just gonna say, so I did give you some a little bit additional information, on your desk here tonight. Craig just 5:30 tonight got some additional information, so what the Park and Rec Board, discussed as far as options maybe for signage to give them, is that we could do, just like I put in the packet, we could do a logo on the court, which is kind of this one where it's painted on there. Craig originally thought if we just painted on there that it wouldn't last very long and it would cost. He's talked with another company though, and basically they'd use the same materials they would on the courts.
Yep.
And that would be $1,000, which would get us logo, it would give us 4 logos basically, you know, 2 for one court and 2 for the second court, for $1,000. And like I said, he's saying it'll last 20 to 30 years, just as long as the courts will last. So that's much better than we thought it was originally last week. The other option is that the park board talked about is getting just a large signage there, just a freestanding sign to put right by the court. Craig contacted, Stacy was nodding no. That's what this one, it just showed what the signage would look like, but basically it would be a metal sign, correct?
Correct.
Painted blue. For about $400, you can get a freestanding metal sign there. That too would last significant amount of years. She did indicate on her quote that the blue, the glossiness may fade, but it will still stay there. So that's one option. Or a third one that we talked about, and Chris kind of helped find this, but you know, if we get fencing up there, we could put like a banner, a mesh banner within the fencing that kind of looks like this one. That too runs about
That'd be cool
$400.
at Swenson Park.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it would be cool at
You can
Swenson
give one
Park.
us a Travis Electric.
But I think
Want a
the,
fixed income.
but I think the park board's thought was, we need to go back, yeah, to Golden West with something. At the time the park board met, we didn't have all these numbers, so I kind of thrown it back
We
to
were talking
you
about
guys.
Swenson Park, the batting cages, I mean, you could put those windbreaks anywhere.
You're right.
The windbreaks, they thought would last anywhere from 1.5 to 3 years. They said, depending on how much wind you get out there and something like that.
That's my fear with
Yeah, that's
that.
gonna
It looks
depend on
great
wind.
for about a year.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I didn't know was how long.
I do think it would be a great idea to request any information about sponsorships before we enter into agreement. I think I'm in support of it. I think we should float the terms, but like, do we really know what we're doing? And maybe ask Tom as well, if there's pitfalls or things we should be thinking about, before we agree to it. I love the color on the court. That's my 2 cents. And then I just wonder if we should not as part of this, but think about in the park somewhere, having some type of recognition of things that stay longer or a lifetime or 50 years or whatever we decide they say, to recognize donors to, for city park and rec items over like 25,000 or whatever we wanna make that.
Right.
And then have it somewhere where you walk by it.
We do have stuff on, like, the amphitheater has got a plaque on it, well donated that, because that was all through donations, that was not a city project. The climbing wall, there is a placard in the concrete, little concrete pad out there that's got theirs, the people that donated that. So we have been recognizing, it's just we don't have anything centralized.
spot.
It's just
Yeah.
by
And
the,
just,
All the donated items do have a plaque
Right.
associated with them,
Okay.
but there's not a.
just a thought, I'm thinking, Travis, back to our.
Life Chair has a
donor
little
holidays.
donation plaque on it.
Yeah.
That really worked out well.
Yeah, I think there's been discussion like as we move forward to try to find more, donors, that type of thing, especially out at Swenson Park, that working something like that, like the donor walls that are in the high school, for Booster Club, but an outdoor one that would probably go along the side of
Concession stand.
the concession stand, that type of
Yeah.
thing, so as we.
And I think we'd also like to, or I would, and Chris, maybe you guys are, this is not to say you're not aware of it, but I think, as a city too, we need to make sure to manage any of those solicitations or, requests for sponsorships so that we're not, like, the Booster Club's not asking all these businesses for signage and then the city's like, hey, buy these windbreak spots for, whatever. I mean, I just think that we need to make sure that dialogue is
Coordination.
happening.
Okay.
And that we prioritize any, like, campaigns.
The reason that the, painted on the court, that was the first deal that we
That's what
Talk
the
with Greg.
original.
had in Golden West. This is the first thing we showed them. That's why,
I think it's great. You might have other businesses going, why,
Yeah.
why didn't we get a chance to do
Right.
this? Maybe not.
well, and
Well, and we have other opportunities, because we want a total of 3 more
28
double
more.
courts, so, we do have,
yeah, we're looking at double court like this year for the original one.
Yeah, this just shows one, but it'd be 2 courts.
Right.
There'll be 4 courts.
The reality of a logo, I mean, as an advertiser,
right,
is the only people that can see that logo are the people on the court,
correct.
or the people maybe flying overhead. Or, buzzing a drone around.
True. Right.
And I don't see it often. I mean, I've been flipping through lots and lots and lots of images of pickleball courts.
Yeah.
And they're not
I was
painted on,
looking too, and
they're all,
They're not,
That's
you don't
why-
find a single
on-
one.
they're all signs, other sign, yeah, I agree,
That's why it took a while to get the number for the paint,
because nobody's doing it.
because nobody's really done it out
Correct.
there. They said Augustana did it on some indoor courts.
Right.
So they knew them were to last.
Yeah.
I had some people tell me that it wouldn't last, you'd have to put a clear coat over it, and then this guy finally talked to the person that does his striping and painting for him, and he says, yep, it'll be the same material as stripes. So that's why it lasts, but it's not, you won't find I don't think you'll find anything out there with advertising like that.
Correct.
I guess that's why I think about, is there some other way to recognize?
Right.
So could you add them to the website?
Because I've never walked by the amphitheater and read the plaque, so I don't know.
I've been there, but I haven't seen the plaque.
Even if you put a plaque or a sign there, unless you go there, you're not gonna see.
Right, and it's almost one of those things, I'm just kinda thinking outside, because like these pickleball courts are gonna have to have fences, yes or no?
We're looking at putting.
Right, I mean, like, to do it right, here's the thing, I wanna play pickleball. I've never played it, so I'm gonna be using this court. And I might have to call Travis to play with me. But, I'm just thinking, whatever that design or layout is, and yes, you got these, probably 8-foot tall fences around it, are they 10-foot tall?
Look like what, 8 is what we.
So if you've got this perimeter of fences, and if it's a better form of advertising to have nice big signs out there, well, now I'm thinking, can we do more sponsorships, maybe at a lesser cost with the sign? I'm just thinking, like, do you take one sponsorship at $25,000 for 10 years, or can you do 5 or 6 sponsors with signs around it? I'm just thinking outside the box. I don't know how that.
Maybe there's some projects that's right for, but I think I'd like to see us let donors have significant donations and recognition for that,
Yep.
and not ask for money all the time for little projects or.
Right.
I'm gonna steer this thing back just a little. I think the sports and rec board can
Yeah.
really hash out
Yeah.
all of those things. But I think our question is, do we approve the sponsorship for pickleball courts with maintenance and upkeep for a 10-year term? Is that live and die on the court? Is that what we have to approve?
No.
No, okay.
No, I think what we want to approve is that the piece of this presentation that the council is okay with, 25,000, 10 years, and signage to be determined after discussion with the,
And we'll
Golden
back
West
to
started with
Golden West.
indefinite though, you go from indefinite down to 10.
I think 10 years is a long
well,
time.
he asked the
for
question though,
$20,000.
right?
Sure,
Yeah, I
that's
was very-
cheap.
He asked the question, so, yeah.
So if we approve this, if we approve a 10-year sponsorship, on the back end, is there still some room for flexibility, whether it be on the fence or, in the 10-year term, I'm not opposed to, it's maybe just how it actually finds its way to the pickleball court, is the question.
Yeah, we get the cart in front of the horse, do we have to identify what type of signage or whatever we want, and then bring that to them before we approve? Because I don't know really what we're approving, because we don't even know what type of marketing we want to do.
It says we're approving the sponsorship for 2 pickleball courts for 10 years with maintenance and upkeep by the city. But, so we're saying, I mean, are they gonna agree to something? where
Yeah, we don't
it's like,
know
we'll
that.
tell you later what you're gonna get?
Right, right.
Or are we gonna send it back to Park and Rec to decide and then go back to Golden West?
Well, what was, because it was Golden West's idea to have it on the.
No, I
Or that was.
planted that.
Gotcha, that.
Don't- that
Okay,
wasn't
so
that- I
For
planted
them, they're
that.
up for, yeah, because we were just going off of that as far as.
Right, no, I planted that seed, that's.
Oh, gotcha,
That's
yeah.
on me.
I'm
I would
willing,
just say approve the sponsorship and
Yeah.
have it open for discussion with Golden West.
Correct.
I just think,
Yeah, ultimately, they could decide whether they want to stroke the check or not.
Yeah.
Correct.
If what the Park and Rec Board decides doesn't meet their approval, or, right?
yeah,
Is that a fair?
I would
assessment?
think so. Just FYI, Golden West Board is meeting this month though, later this
Yeah.
month. So I think the talk at the Park and Rec Board is that is the council comfortable with a 10-year sponsorship in exchange for the 25,000?
$25,000.
And then working out what kind of signage they
Details.
want.
Correct.
well, yeah, I
Yeah, or do
agree.
you think it's
And-
a longer term or
No.
indefinite,
No,
that's
I-
kinda.
Right,
Because then we can go
On you,
to
or,
them
you know.
and then we can bring the various
yeah.
signage, what we
Well-
want.
The idea of not having to replace it 3 times during the 10 years attracted to me. If
Yes.
that's the-
Yeah.
That is
On
more
the court,
attractive.
and they'll agree to that.
for the-
So let's put it into context here, what's the reality? The kitchen, which is where this ad is proposed to be placed on the pickleball court, is 14 by 20. So whether that be, you could say a 14 by 20 space, $25,000 for 10 years. Are those the kinds of stipulations that we
Want to put on.
we could put on it
Right.
to try and make it equitable to what they have in mind?
Right, where you almost, part of what the discussion was as well, with $25,000, and that's basically, that's covering the building of the 2 full courts. So does 10 years seem, is that long enough? Or even after the 10 years is up, is there still a Golden West sign that hangs up? But then over the 10 years, after 10 years, does the court thing change? Does that open up for maybe a different amount? But because, they kind of started it for the community, that
Right.
they would have at some point, a separate sign that would be
Okay.
along there.
You
You
can
know,
say, we have this is an anchor
indefinite.
donor, court one anchor donor, was Golden West, that could be the perpetuity portion.
Right.
And that could be on a plaque the size of,
Correct.
an 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, I think
Something
the
like that.
board did talk about a larger plaque out there for
Sure.
any donors, and
On
like
the
you said, and
fence,
kind of
like we did.
recognize who are the, yeah, like
You
I said,
gotta
the anchor
have fence
donors,
around
or,
the
or ones that want to donate $100
I mean,
or
ideally, you don't wanna chase the ball forever and ever.
Maybe you do it where you'd have it they would basically be you're a donor forever because they donated the concrete net. But then you also have like if you wanna advertise on the court, it would be this much or something like that, and
Right.
for so many years or something.
For a windscreen.
Do an
or
advertisement
the
type
next.
thing, yeah, or windscreen or something like that, or.
Yeah, I think that's a whole other conversation.
Kitchenette.
Right.
I think that's something the park board needs to, kind of vet out yet.
But I do think
Good
the
plan.
question is, are we as a council good with that as our starting parameter in this situation? My intent wasn't to set off all these bells and whistles. I just thought, hey, let's ask the question and see if we have a great partner in town, Golden West, that have some interest, and they do.
Well, I think it's important to keep the perspective that, at least I hope, they're looking at it, I mean, it's a donation from them to the community for that recreation.
Yes,
The advertisement's a bonus.
Correct.
Right? So,
correct.
I don't think that should be the centerpiece of the thinking about this, maybe. Although they should be recognized for sure.
Correct.
Yeah, and I'm in favor of it. They were obviously somewhat excited about this.
Yep.
I think
So-
the painting's cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make a motion here, so we can kind of keep moving and let the park board figure out the details. I'm gonna make a motion to approve Golden West's sponsorship, excuse me, for 2 pickleball courts with maintenance and upkeep by the city for a 10-year term, with the details of that sponsorship worked out in the future. So I'm making a motion to approve the sponsorship and for the park board to go out and figure out the next step in this process. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
I'll second it.
Okay, any more discussion?
Yeah, I would like to make sure any agreements that we actually do an agreement.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, you have to do
Oh,
an
yeah.
agreement.
That Tom will,
It's just trying to
Yeah.
negotiate it out
Right.
now.
okay, so, then I'm good.
Can you read that motion back, Karen?
To approve Golden West sponsorship for 2 pickleball courts with maintenance and upkeep by the city for a 10-year term for $25,000, with the details to be determined and future contract, I mean, if you're okay.
Right, because we don't know what type of.
Or with exact signage to be determined, I guess.
I would say
That's
maybe
what I'm
with the
saying,
signage
there's details
to
to
be
figure out here.
negotiated.
There's negotiation that
I
has to
think
be
so.
figured
Maybe
out.
be
Detail is
negotiated.
who's gonna continue talking to Golden West.
Right.
Right, and
And that could be Teresa and myself, that could be reps from the park board.
There's where all your details are gonna
Correct.
come from.
right, and so like in my mind, we're kind of working this backwards. This is that I would love to have all of those details figured out specifically, what they want for marketing, what they want for a
Correct.
term, all of that. Let's get that figured out, and then let's make a motion to approve those terms. So we're
That's
working
on
this a
me,
little bit
because I-
backwards.
I was
That's
gonna
all.
say-
I'm the one that jumped the
I mean-
cart in front of the horse, so.
If we're selling, I think we would wanna know all of those things, but we're just trying to take right
Yeah.
now. And if they like the paint on the court, they like the paint on the court. I mean, I don't know why we have to,
Yeah. Sorry, I
unless
mean,
we
I
think
just.
that's a
Hey, you don't
problem.
be sorry, don't play victim here. You
I
did a
just,
great job.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm the victim.
Yeah.
All right, are we
Yes.
clear?
Yep,
Anything else?
I'm opposed to someone voting no if they have a better idea, so, or I'm open to, yeah, so.
All right, if not, we'll vote. Wassall, yes. Mattson.
yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We should probably either talk with the park board or get with Greg at Golden West or figure out our details or
They probably give an email to
Greg
Greg
and
and
just
see if
say,
we
hey,
can sit
next
down
time
and
you're in
talk.
town, we should have
Yeah.
a meeting.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for your work.
Matt, do you think though, is there some direction to go bigger than one, or these 2 courts?
Yeah, there's the hope to eventually go to 4 double courts there, so for a total of 8. So,
What's the timeline for something like that?
well, we currently have 35,000 set aside, so if we get the 25,000 from Golden West, we'd be able to get in those first 2, and then that 35 would be an additional two with possibility of, if there's any money left over in that, you know, to go to fencing for those two, so.
And lighting, right? We gotta have lighting out there eventually, playing. pickleball
There
in
is a
summer.
discussion, but there've been issues in the past as
You
far
have to have
as.
I think,
What time's the
to be-
park
Past
close,
10
what
o'clock?
time's the sun go
I
down?
was gonna say, I think to be fair to the neighbors, you want that, to not be accessible after dark.
Correct.
Because people will be out there playing all.
Softball fields
Have
are
you ever
lighted,
seen
right?
the
Softball fields,
Have you
baseball
ever-
fields, they all do it.
Google
Yep.
pickleball complaints?
It just,
It's a real thing.
It's a-
Yeah,
So it gets
personal
pretty
opinion,
intense and.
and
cause it's a whack rather than, it's a little louder than a tennis.
Yeah, it's-
personal opinion for the Park and Rec Board too is to, like, I mean, I think we should think about like finishing that area with,
And that's what we brought
that's
up.
what I would like to
Finish
do
the
with the
Next
one.
extra
meeting, we're
funds
gonna
rather than
talk
just
about
throw.
plan.
Cause then we'll be
One
nickel and
complete.
diming to finish benches and all of that as we go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fence, benches,
Finish the
One
first
done.
4 courts.
One done?
one done, and then move on.
Yeah.
Not one and done, but
Right.
finish one and then
And then
go.
do.
No, we were on that, same idea, cause no one wants to be chasing balls all over,
Right.
you know, so.
Right.
And you're gonna need a bench.
All right,
Is there time to get a campaign together to try and do more than one? I mean, if 25,000 is the number, you might have 3 other businesses who would.
Yeah, we might be able
stroke that
to
check.
jump on that, you know.
Yeah, 25 is not the exact number for court. We budgeted 35, and that would just get us a court and surfacing, so the 25 is would help go toward that.
Right.
But to build a double pickleball court is gonna be over 25,000.
And fencing, we're not even talking about fencing.
Yeah,
right?
that's
It's not
That's
gonna
what
be cheap.
including fencing. and-
Then how close is our project gonna get to 100,000? We gotta bid it out.
Oh, we'll keep it.
That's why you do.
That's, we'll
I
do
think
it in
there should
small,
be 200.
smaller chunks, so
Yeah.
we don't have to go that
Put
route.
gates in the fences.
All right, anything else? If not, we're gonna keep moving along.
All right, thank you.
All righty, thanks, Matt.
We're in a real pickle now.
We are in a real pickle ball. All right, new business. First up, set a 2024 equalization meeting date. And we have to do them the week of March 18th. The date we're recommending is that day, Monday, March 18th.
Tuesday, there is a city council meeting. Wednesday, SMJ actually has their annual meeting, so I don't know if there'd be any interest in going to that. So earlier in the week would be better than later, because Karen, after the meeting, has to put together, send out all the paperwork and put together minutes and get that all to the county as well at the end of the week, so.
What time is of the day do we do that?
Usually do that at like 6:30, don't we?
Yeah, I say, usually it's an evening.
I can make that date, actually, it'll be the first time.
I can do the 18th.
Okay,
These are cut in by snowmobile trips.
There
Aren't
you
you
go,
going
snow.
to Deadwood that weekend?
Trails close on like the 19th, don't they?
that's,
You gotta go further, you gotta go higher.
Yeah,
There,
yeah, exactly.
you can find snow,
No.
maybe,
Maybe.
hoping for a late season dump.
are you gonna be gone?
No,
You'll
not
be here.
currently, no, I can't go down.
Oh, jeez. All right, do we have a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to set the equalization meeting date as March 18th.
Second.
6:30?
6:30. Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslerger.
Yes.
All right, next up,
Usually last.
depends on how many
Depends on
people
how
show
many
up.
protests you
How
have.
long did it last
3
last
to
year?
4 hours.
About an,
Travis.
usually an hour.
Last year we were here about an hour.
Hour and a half.
We hear their
It
appeals.
really
they say
depends on
thanks for
how
coming.
many appeals you have.
Go to the county.
No, we hear their appeals, they say, thanks for coming, and then we say, take it to the county.
Take it to the
I mean, 'cause
county.
they're the one that said it.
Right, I mean, we don't have any power in terms of vote, we're not voting on anything, are we?
Oh, yes, you do.
Well, we better make sure we have a full council on that night.
We got a school board member as well.
You have
Yes.
school board rep, and the mayor is actually a voting member of the
Yeah,
equalization board,
Okay.
because you're the equalization board, not
I
the
think I'm gonna be
council.
on snowmobile. My back should be healed by then, I'll go Next up, review and approve the seasonal job descriptions and pay scale. As we know, it appears like wages and finding people go hand in hand. And we are proposing to raise our wages again for our lifeguards, pool managers, park and rec directors, dump monitors, public works assistants.
Motion to approve job descriptions as presented.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslager.
Yes.
All right, next up, discuss life insurance benefits for city staff. Teresa had asked me about this, and I said, let's throw it on the agenda and talk with the council about it. It's a benefit that is available that we can offer to our city staff.
Currently, we do not offer any life insurance to the city staff at all. We can, though, get group insurance, a $10,000 policy. We can get it through basically the South Dakota Health Pool, but that cost is $2.10 per employee per month. Or Colonial Life, which is $2, which is I'm recommending. And Aflac does offer it as well through the city, but that is all based on your age, and so it fluctuates and varies. So last time the Colonial Life representative was in, it's a very affordable benefit that you could offer an employee. Like I said, it's a $10,000 policy, $2 per month per employee. So it was something I think I wanted to just see if you guys are open to it. Now would be a good time to consider it since we are redoing our payroll manual. That's a benefit, we can throw it in with our new payroll manual and adopt it all at the same time. So I guess just wondering your thoughts and feelings on that. Like I said, right now we don't offer anything to employees for life insurance.
Are we behind other cities?
It really varies. Some municipalities offer it, some don't. The gamut of benefits.
The Sioux Falls offer it, I assume?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Travis Electric offers it.
That's
He's waiting for a job. It's not much, but it's something.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not, but
It's not a terribly expensive
No, it's cheap.
benefit that we can offer.
Is 10,000 the only option that?
No, if they want more, they can.
if they want more, they can purchase
That's
more
on there.
room, yeah.
That's on there.
Okay.
This would be a straight 10,000 policy
This
with,
is on the city.
no physical examination. It's a guaranteed policy.
Right.
Do we have disability insurance?
They can get it through Aflac, the city
Okay.
doesn't. Or Colonial Life, they can get it on their own.
Which is there? So you're recommending the one that's $2 per?
Yes, I'm recommending the one through Colonial Life at $2 a month per employee.
And then,
And then,
full-time and year-round.
yeah, and then the question is it just full-time or all year-round employees, which I would recommend that as well, if
Yeah.
it's cheap.
I make a motion to approve adding life insurance for all full-time and year-round employees.
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right.
Good
Thank you.
idea.
Great, thank you guys.
For bringing that up.
Yeah, great, thank you guys, we'll get at it.
Last on new business, mayoral appointment, I don't have it wrapped up, but I did have a great discussion with a potential candidate for the Park and Rec Board that I'm planning to have by next meeting. And we should probably jump back to Amy before we go.
My information's in the packet, unless anyone has questions.
How did you turn out, or is that, you wanna talk about that in?
No, it was a fine meeting. They just need to discuss some things and then they're gonna get back to us within the next month or so. They're
Okay.
hoping by the end of this month, so.
Okay. All right. Executive session, we wanna go for economic development
And legal, I got one thing,
And
just to
legal.
give you an update.
all right, do I have a motion for,
I make a motion to move to executive session for economic development and legal.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.